This is the band that's coming in 2023 at the end of January to Dublin, hence the little green top I'm wearing. It's not so bright, but I'll leave that for St. Patrick's Day. But let's get back to the 1975. One of the most favourite songs is Paris that we're about to play. It's iconic with the group and the fans love it, but they absolutely went crazy on this particular video, which by the way is a fundraiser. So if you check it out on YouTube and you play it, it's a fundraiser. It's still collecting, I actually don't know how much, but hundreds of thousands anyway so far has been raised. So congratulations to 1975 for doing that. I love it when bands who are at their peak and still riding the crest of popularity and everything like this band does, I love it when they give back the way they do. So well done. A little bit of green for you. Now, Paris is a place of romance and love, but what is this song about for everybody to know? Two things. I'll give you a little bit of background, a small bio, which I do in my program, to all the thousands of fans around the world that mightn't know of them, who don't speak English, don't follow English bands, but have started to follow the channel because I do translations. So here you go. The 1975 are an English pop rock band formed in 2002 in Winslow, Cheshire. Now based in Manchester, the band consists of lead vocalist and rhythm guitarist Matty, as he's known as, Healy, lead guitarist Adam Hann, bassist Ross McDonald and drummer George Daniel. The band members met in secondary school, performed together as teenagers, got gigs and led the band to be signed with Dirty Head and Polydor Records in the beginning. They opened up for several major acts and released a series of extended plays, Face Down, Sex Music for Cars, 7, and from 2012 to 13 before releasing their UK chart-topping self-titled album 2013, which includes the popular songs single Sex, Chocolate and Robbers. Like you've heard of Sex, Rock and Roll. What's the middle piece I'm missing? Sex, whatever. The second album, I Like It When You Sleep, You're So Beautiful Yet You Are Unaware of It, reached #1 in the UK, US, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. The band released their third studio album, A Brief Inquiry into Online Relationships, 2018, to critical acclaim and became their third #1 album in the UK. Their fourth album, Notes on a Conditional Form, in 2020, was their fourth consecutive #1 album in the UK. They're incredible, and there's going to be so many people going to the arena to see this particular band. If you needed a wake-up call, a band that will just bring you back from obscurity to reality, it's going to, musically what I'm talking about, it's going to be this particular band. I never featured them last year on my channel because I was concentrating so much in Europe, bringing new artists, establishing them, which I've done, because bands like the 1975 speak for themselves. They're so popular and iconic, and a lot of their songs are. And yes, I follow them, but I've never heard this particular acoustic version. So this is my first time. I saw it on YouTube and went, wow, an acoustic, read some of the comments and went, that's how I'm going to introduce them in 2023, because it's about time people got to established bands that I like brought onto the channel and appreciate their music as well. So that is the guys, that's their background. Let's get to the song. If Matty had a subject that he's best at writing about, and this is for all the fans, it's probably the fucked up individuals he meets and observes. Paris is a masterclass, the video you're going to see in this. Its main focus is a coked up girl he meets at a party who had to leave because she couldn't hack it. Not enough noise and not too much racket. It was too quiet. Later, there's the implication that she's moaning about missing a party because her friend kept cutting her wrists and being materialistic. She pointed at the bag of her dreams in a posh magazine. He also, as evidenced earlier on the album, and the album that this is taken from, he's making reference to, is this. And listen to this for a title. I like it when you sleep, for you are so beautiful, yet so unaware of it. That's the name of the title. and this is track 15 of many singles on that title. I just look at what, the amount of people to just put one word or two words, and that does the title, and that's this band for you. So let's get back to the comment I was reading before. I don't want to lose track because I quickly want to gear myself up. So that's where, in reference to what he's talking about, and I'll read it again. Also evidenced earlier on the album, that's the album, great at writing about his own issues, and this song is no different. There's the romantic infidelities in this song and lyrics. I've got 2 left feet and I'm starting to cheat on my girlfriend again, it references, and his well-publicized addictions. As the crowd cheered for an overdose, I said, I'm done, babe, I'm out of the scene. But I was picking up on Bethnal Green. She said I'd been romanticizing heroin. The lyrics are sad enough as it is, but combined with the glittering melancholy mesh that the remaining Adam George and bassist McDonald build beneath, it can become utterly depressing. And the band released this particular version you're going to hear on December 2018. As always, I'll give you my interpretation, which I'll make short and brief, straight after we've heard the acoustic version, which I'm looking forward to. It is a melancholic, it is a bit depressive. If you've known people in this situation, I'm sorry, but it's a song that needs to be heard and talked about. Take it away. The 1975 Paris acoustic version.
ice house in the snow. Keeping a tab on my health. Man, you putting me up on a shelf. Well, I'll believe you're clean, but only by seeing your face for myself. And she pointed at the bag of her dreams on a well-posh magazine. Now when I'm done, babe, I'm out of the scene. I was picking up on Bethnal Green. She said I've been romanticizing heroin. I know how I'd love to go Paris again and again, again. Oh yeah, how I'd love to go Paris again. How I'd love to go Paris again, 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 again. How I'd love to go Paris again, again, again.
I have to say, straight into the lyrics I'm going to go. And when he says, I love to go Paris again and again and again, I didn't quite get the references to saying it's very depressing, it's very... But then it hit me hard at the very end of that song. When he makes, I'd love to go to Paris again, it's not for the lights, it's not for the love, it's not for the women, it's not for anything. It's for the drugs. He's missing the drugs. It's almost like an Amsterdam addiction. That he's missing that high, that craziness, that this girl he met that was addicted to heroin and everything was too quiet for her and nothing was crazy enough for her. He misses that side of his character that brought him to life almost, in a situation where he felt death and he was becoming deathly through his music and through different things. There's a dual meaning throughout all of these lyrics, and we already discussed a lot of the lyrics at the beginning, so I'm going to keep it brief and just give you, that's what hit me at the end of that particular song there, that there's a missing. Like when a bad boy is a bad boy and becomes a good boy and gets on and cleans his nose and not sniffs in front of the crowd and gets high. There's many ways of getting high. I know that before the fans argue. But that was too evidentially evident at the very end there. That it was a reference to God I miss. It's like a person who's an alcoholic. It's an addiction. And when you have an addiction and you break that addiction, you do miss it. You do miss it. People still ask me to this day, why did you give up Trinity College to go and pursue music? Because music and writing was such an addiction in my life. I've wrote 3 books. Thank God I wrote them. I wanted to develop a music channel. You'll never make it. There's too many music channels. But I found my niche and I'm growing. And it's an addiction. I get up so enthused in the morning. I get enthused making videos late at night. And I'm thinking about which artist I'm going to feature, which song. It's an addiction. An addiction of any sort is an addiction. And he said that at the end. And I never knew that about until I heard the acoustic version. Also, I'd like to say to the 1975, can you please come out with an acoustic double EP vinyl, then CD, and put it on Spotify for God's sake, and put it on all the platforms that you can purchase it, of acoustic songs of your greatest hits, and run a competition, guys, and you'll fly them out from wherever they live, and they'll get to meet you, get signed autographs, spend a few hours with you, do something radically different, and get your fans to dictate which songs should be on the album in acoustic. And go for it, guys, because that is mind-blowing. Absolutely, fundamentally mind-blowing. So we've talked about, she's a pain in the nose. We know what that's reference to. And walking away from an overdose. And I have to keep it plain and simple because we're on YouTube. And I don't, even though you put your video for adults, we all know there's ways around. So I have to be careful here. So she has to leave because she couldn't hack it, not enough noise. So we've talked about that. So she leaves the nightclub. We go into the chorus. Oh, how I'd love to go to Paris again. How I'd love to go to Paris again. But as I said, it wasn't for the love of Paris. It was the love of that sense of not excitement about Paris. God, we're not stupid. It's about the excitement of memories that he probably had there. And probably Matty had them personally in Paris, where he was on a high, on such a high, and went to his concerts on a high, and just got through the day on a high, and he misses it. And Paris is a fun place for that. But he talks about, I got 2 left feet and I started to cheat. When you're in love with yourself, when you don't care, when you've got an addiction and the rules and barriers are broken down, you're going to cheat. Your trousers are going to be at your feet. You're just going to be looking all around, and you're not going to be thinking with your heart. You're thinking with, and we all know what that is. So, and then it says, I don't suppose you know where this train goes. Nobody does. The train is your head. It's fast moving. It's like a train ready to crash. But we've all been on that train, all of us, including myself, and we don't know where it goes. And then he talks about hyper-politicized sexual trias. And they're he's referring to rules and regulations and things that confine you to be the person you're supposed to be. And if you break the law, and if you take this and then become very sexualized and do that, you're breaking the law and you can be arrested for it. And he's saying, why? Why am I confined to anything here? Because he says, I think my boyfriend's a nihilist. And I said, hey kids, we're all just the same. What a shame. We are. We all want the high life. We all want the good life. We all want the fast life. We do. And what a shame that we have to live with so many rules and regulations that confine us to saying, no, we can't. When in fact, in a way, if it's controlled, by the way, we should be saying, yes, I can. So it continues, I'd love to go to Paris again. And he says in verse 3, they're like piss holes in the snow. And piss holes in the snow, when your rain hits the snow, what does it make? A hole in the snow. So it's like holes in the head. It's like, geez, just the thought of anything rational, any person keeping a tab on my health, or he's sick about all the officials. So this song is taking a leaf from his addiction days, going forth, writing about it, and writing what he can remember of it after he broke the habit, of course, and looking back going, God, the things that annoyed me was the doctors and everybody around me. You've got to do this, you've got to do that, you've got to do that, you've got to do that. But, as he says in verse 3, but only seeing your face for myself. So only seeing real faces, false faces. Oh, you're going to be fine. Oh, I love you. Oh, blah, blah. I'm your best friend when you're high. Oh, come on, let's party. False faces. And then, even in reference to the girl, she pointed to the bag of her dreams. She points to, God, I'm addicted. I have this habit, but here's me looking at a posh magazine. Because I always wanted the pretty house and the good life. And she said, I'm done, babe. I'm out of the scene. So she's always convincing herself with words, I'll get out of here. I'll get out of the situation. I want that life somehow, some way. Because even the most desperate in life and the homeless have dreams. Homeless, to be rehomed, treated like a human being, sleep on a warm bed, be safe, break their addictions. That's what they want. Not people walking past them on the street going, I didn't see them. You know, the blind look. We all are blinded to so many things in life. But he finishes, how I'd love to go to Paris again, how I'd love to go to Paris again. I think in a way, there's also a resolution here that he'd love to go to Paris again because he'd love to see it through a different set of eyes and mindset, and would temptation creep back in? Because we're all tempted to form our habits. So that's my version of the song very quickly. Hope you've enjoyed it, everybody. I have the Coming to Dublin and the 29th. All details in the description below of all the places they're going to. Matty, congratulations on acoustic. Think about the double album. Take care. Wait for a cup of coffee.